What is up, whale shares? So today I want to talk a little bit about this thing that they disabled the market for the whale tokens, and I basically saw it from this post, basically from Enrico. Okay, so they basically disabled the whale tokens on whale shares, so you cannot get them anymore. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about that and my view of it. So I'm gonna quote some things here. It says the whale tokens were created since even before launching the first version of whale shares, in which we're currently, despite some hard forks in the middle. The idea behind the creation was specifically for supporting the community growth and support. They were not meant to be bought, but rather earned by the community members in an intent of rewarding the efforts of participation and positive activity inside the WhaleShares ecosystem. They were meant to be a great driver towards organic community growth. So the first thing I want to say is I bought a lot of these and they were great because they basically empowered content creators to quickly be able to grow your stake in WhaleShares, because the power down is slower. So at the Rudex or the WLS in the Rudex market, it's harder to get WL access to whale shares. So the whale tokens were amazing because you could grow your account very fast. So this actually is good for the platform, because if you have people that can come in quickly and grow their account, if they're willing to invest, that is very smart because it creates liquidity. And a big key to growth is liquidity. If you have low liquidity, then you get slow growth. So this basically was organic investing growth that happened very fast. And I can see a lot of my friends that invested, basically, they never would have sort of invested if you only could slowly grow your account, just getting the WLS on the Rudex, because it takes a longer time to power that down. So it's only a couple thousand tokens hitting the market every week. So I know a lot of people, I know a lot of value that would not have gotten into whale shares if it wasn't for the whale tokens. And basically disabling that right now is basically cutting off a big market, which is just like, there's always a market. If you try to disable something, people are going to find some other way to get it either way. So there's always going to be buy and sell market, and it's really, really fine. Like, because people saying that, okay, so you got these tokens for super cheap. That's not really true. The whale tokens quickly went up in price, so it almost it was just a little bit below the WLS token on the Rudex market. So it wasn't really that you could get them for mega cheap. I mean, the price rose pretty quick when the demand went up. So this was actually amazing because it actually created an effect where thousands of dollars could pour in and invest into the whale shares ecosystem. By cutting off that market, you may actually make it so investors start to look at other stuff. People want liquidity. If you remove liquidity, you sort of remove a lot of investors that might have been interested. And this is something that with a global currency, they're trying to make, for example, with XRP, they're trying to make a currency that has a massive liquidity, because it's going to make people use it more, it's going to have a higher value. And I don't really think that trying to disable stuff is actually going to be good. So let's continue on here. But something happened in between. Whale token holders started selling them on a very low price through big shares. Okay, that's not really true. I saw it was just maybe one token that was low, and that was only for like a week, and then the price went up pretty fast. And there was only a few that you could get basically of all the whale tokens. So they were actually the whale tokens were already pretty scarce. And so, okay, let's continue on. People interested in the platform and investors started buying them instead, really investing in the platform through buying WLS to stake up. But here's the thing that's also wrong. Okay, so it says people interested in the platform and investors started buying them. And then it says investors started buying them, okay? Instead, really investing in the platform. Okay, but that's wrong. Like if a person is buying whale tokens, then they're gonna get an upvote and then they're gonna get WLS. So people buying whale tokens are actually investing in the whale shares platform, right? So I don't really understand that. And let's continue on. This is a loss from any point of view, due to that even if the token holder may earn some cents, they're losing probably thousands of dollars for the future. But this also doesn't make any sense, because it's mainly witnesses that are selling these tokens, and it basically allows people, it empowers content creators or investors to quickly grow their stake, to have a massive incentive to invest in whale shares. Trying to argue here that the token holders or the witness holders should just hoard them, then that would be worse for the platform, because that wouldn't empower content creators, because the content creators want liquidity, and if you disable the whale tokens, you remove a lot of the liquidity incentive, which in a way sort of seems to think that, in a way, it's like almost that people don't believe in the platform, that, oh no, we sort of want to regulate this buy and sell industry. It sort of many ways comes down to maybe we don't trust people, maybe we need to disable stuff. I don't really believe in disabling stuff, especially not like buying and selling market, and that most of the whale tokens that you could get, the price went up and it was pretty identical to the WLS price. And then I'm going to quote, "This is why token holders decided to close most trade of their tokens. Some people may say that these tokens were meant to be funding their freelance efforts. That's totally fair, but disabling the market doesn't take away the chances of getting reward out of these tokens. In fact, it is otherwise. The whale tokens are meant to create value out of thin air through the upshare feature in whale shares. They shouldn't have a price on their own." Okay, so this idea that they shouldn't have a price on their own, I mean, everything has a price. Everything has a price. So that's just like, we live in a market economy. There's always going to be a price to anything. They shouldn't have a price of their own, but rather value, and not to interfere with the value and the price of whale shares. So I don't really get this either, because, I mean, if people buying whale tokens, they're investing in the platform, and it's going to grow the value of WLS as well. If you cut off the potential for investors to come in, you're going to remove the liquidity. So I don't get this. And then it just says, "With these things, what are your thoughts towards this? Do you think this was a good decision?" Definitely not. Definitely not. Because it removes a lot of the value flow coming into the platform. It's going to make it so content creators now have to grow at a slower rate, which is never good. And also that if the whale tokens used are being rewarded to community efforts and stuff like that, it's still going to be a slower growth of the whale shares ecosystem in general. You can have both systems, both rewarding people that do cool community stuff, but the liquidity, to disable liquidity, is probably never a good idea. And I mean, as I said, I mean, people are gonna always find another way used, and they can just get votes from another account. Basically, they can just buy and sell. They can offer a price, because liquidity, I think liquidity is so important, especially for a new platform. If there's a lot of hurdles, if there's a lot of gateway keeping, I don't really think that's so good. for example, on the Steam blockchain, you can just easily buy. They have a lot of liquidity, and it actually makes a healthy market. If it's just super slow to get, then that's not going to be good. I should also say that I love the WLS and the Rudix market. It's a great exchange, but I don't really understand this. Since I really don't get it, because it's like if the whale tokens have the same value as the WLS, if they just raise the price, it's just the same as if a person would buy the WLS on the Rudix market, but they would have faster liquidity, right? So yeah, my quick thoughts about that. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully people on whale shares did enjoy. And I can say, as a content creators, the whale tokens basically were the best, that you could be empowered by upvotes, basically. Yeah, like it's true empowerment, it's true freedom. Disabling things, has it ever been good in history to disable things, remove markets? Is that really a free system? I mean, you still have buy and sell, but now it's just slower. So the only thing that this is creating is slower way for investors or content creators to grow their stake, basically, which I don't really think is that smart. But yeah, my quick little thoughts about it. Hopefully people enjoyed. Have a great day, everyone, on WhaleTokens. Bye-bye.